here I am on a quest to revisit several sites where missing people have came about in Smoky Mountains. The first one is Dennis Martin, which is one of the famous ones back in 1969, and they literally had, thousands of people, the military, rangers, the special forces, all these people hunting for him, which he suspiciously vanished Spencer Field up on the Appalachian Trail. Now, the first place that they started out is where I'm heading right now, which is Cades, Cove. That's where they started out at the bottom of the mountain, and they took a big, long hike up ended up in Spencer's Field. They stopped somewhere else one night and then got up the next day with Spencer's Field, and then they met up with another group of family, and everything seemed to be fine, and they wanted to play hide and seek kind of thing and scare the adults, and the kids were hiding behind trees, but they did tell Dennis, why don't you go off by yourself somewhere else? I think that was not the greatest thing to say right there, but that's just my opinion, because he had a red shirt on, and so he went somewhere else, and then when they came out and scared him, he wasn't there to be found. His father said, I saw him go behind a bush about 5 minutes earlier, but he was not able to find him. They went hunting, of course they never did find him. A lot of theories that might have happened on that, and the most natural one was he just got lost in these woods are just so rugged that he ended up dying of natural causes out in the wilderness, which happens. There is another theory that he might have got abducted. There's other theories that today is being introduced that there's some feral people out there, cannibals that live in the mountains that get people, need them, and of course, a couple of theories there. But the first place I'm going to be going is kind of the staging area where they started out, which is right over here. We're pretty much coming into the site, camping area on the left here. But I want to visit one of the crazy sites that one person that actually said that they might have saw or heard. They actually didn't see. Here we are at Cades Cove. And I'm not going to take the whole trip around. It'd take me the whole day. Just going to take a detour right to this spot where it was a guy named Harold Key was down here kind of doing the same thing. And his family was kind of walking around a creek. And that was Rowan Creek. Heard a scream and then saw a man kind of rushing through the woods coming out, and then he got in a white car and took off. So they might have had suspicion that might have been he got abducted, or that was just maybe this kind of about around the same time as kids and family. I think they said, oh, we saw a bear, and then somebody thought that he might have said, oh no, it's not a bear, it was a guy carrying something, maybe a kid. They heard a scream. So I'm going to check that spot out, exactly where that happened, to see, and I'm going to show you the contrast of where that's at versus the Appalachian Trail and the mountain that he went to. So we'll take a detour up here. Might see a bear. Who knows? I've seen some horses on them. Wow. I've seen a horse or two before, but look at that. Alright, so taking a left here, a detour on Sparks Lane. I wonder if that dude's gonna follow me. No, I don't think so. And this is kind of a road you can go back and forth on. If you want to detour off or cut back around and not go through, kind of a turn through. Here we go. Again, over there, top of those mountains is where they hiked to. And then down here is where they heard the scream. Let's go check it out. Alright, I see what everybody's stopping for. There's a bear down there. Everybody sees it. He's out in the bushes. This camera doesn't zoom in, so I can't really zoom in. Well, he's by himself. I know, folks. You never see the bear. Kind of strolling along, taking his time. There he goes. Maybe he's gonna come over. He says, I don't know if I want to come around those daggone humans or not. I don't know what they're. This looks like one of the areas where Rowan's Creek's at. I believe it's also on up here a little bit, but this kind of is where Mr. Key and his family would have been. And right up there is the trail. So there's a horse trail that comes from the Appalachian Trail up in this area. So he couldn't have went too far. Probably they were walking up along a creek bed, about like this right here, and probably maybe in this area. And they heard a loud scream, and some say they saw a bear, a guy carrying some, and then so he couldn't have went too much further. As you can see right there, you know, he had to still see the road. So it would have been right in here somewhere. So here's the actual campground store where they had it still exactly open. There's Ranger Joe. They looked back then. And that's where they had a staging area right there. Right here is kind of where they had a picture. You can kind of see where they had a grouping picture here of all the people coming in. Alright, we're out of there just a nick of time. It's starting to fill up on this Father's Day. Head to the next destination, Newfound Gap. Good deal. Alright, so I'm fixing to come up to Newfound Gap
parking area and then keep left.
place where in 2011, Christopher Lee Cessna disappeared while parked here, and Derek Lucan, 2012, just 1 year later, was found. His vehicle was found.
Newfound gap parking area, and that route guidance is now finished.
And we're gonna try to find a parking place. Doesn't look promising, but let's see what we can do. This guy's heading. Supposedly Lucan had camping gear and then had a note in there that said, you know, don't come looking for me, which is weird. So let's go check it out. It's always full of people, always. And anybody says, hey, you know, there's nobody here. It's crazy because even in the winter time, this place is full. Cool. So we're basically at the Appalachia Trail. It crosses over here. Let's go check it out. I'm at the Appalachia Trail right there, and kind of right down in here is where, you know, Cades Cove is, where Dennis Martin went missing down in this direction. Let's go check it out. And that's typical. So here's a typical Appalachian Trail. I'm on it right here. But you can see a lot of people. A lot of people coming down through. And there's some rules right there. Alright. There's a bathroom. I need to check that out too. Okay, here we go. My last stop, Clingmans Dome. Alright. So there's two disappearances, and one was solved later on this route here. 1976, Trini Lynn Gibson from around Knoxville, Tennessee, was on a field trip from her school up here, and their actual tour was to go see Andrew's Wall. I guess maybe some of them went to Clingmans Dome, but that's where they went to, and she came back and was heading toward the parking area, and people did see her heading back, and then somebody, I think he saw her stooped over looking at something, and that's the last time they saw her, and she disappeared and was never found. Now supposedly some of the kids in school allegedly had some of her jewelry stuff and her comb and all that, which she always had with her, and they couldn't explain that, but I don't know that to be true. I just heard that, you know, that was alleged and stuff on there, but they never have found her. The other one was Susan Clements, and this was around not too long ago, 2018, and she was supposedly a experienced hiker and came up here with her sister, her daughter, and they were hiking the Appalachian Trail, and her daughter wanted to go see the Clingmans Dome, and she was heading down supposedly to, again, the same place, Andrews Ball. And I believe that's just kind of a cleared out area on the trail. And, you know, she got missing. So it took them about 2 or 3 weeks, though. And they have a little more stuff to hunt for people today. And they found her about, I guess, a mile or so, I guess, west from Clingmans, so down the Appalachia Trail in a remote ravine area of Higgins Creek, kind of a drainage area. Really rough area, cliffy. They had to get a helicopter to get her out and all that. And they really, that's still a mystery out there. They don't know how she would have got down in that area because, you know, going off the path is one thing, but that was really rough area where they couldn't get to. So how did she get into there? That was kind of questionable still yet, but they did find her. We're gonna go check it out. Let's see where this happened. Good deal. About 3/4 of a mile backed up traffic. It's not a good sign if that means there's no parking up here. But we'll see, I guess, whenever I get up there. Okay, about an hour, you might say. I've kind of made it to the parking lot, but I don't see anybody backing in here. So, I mean, I don't know. There's a mile. Oh, shoot, there was somebody right there. Negative. Finally made it after about an hour's wait. Luckily, I found a parking place, and luckily I don't have to use the bathroom either. This place is full, typical. Let's go check it out. So I'm parked right here. Clingmans done. This goes down to Andrew's ball right there. So let's check it out. Andrew Ball is 1.8 miles down this way, which is a pretty good hike. But this is typical of the trails down through here. So pretty well marked. Here's, you know, the trail to Andrew's Ball, and you can see down there, that's really steeper than it looks. It's straight down cliffs. So right here, I still got, you know, I went a mile. So here I am, pretty steady hike. I had to go back up another hill, and I think I'm about to get to the end of this. But it's pretty brisk hike, and then you got to go back. But as you can see, there's no feral people. There's no bears right now that I can have. And nobody really out here except for me. And I'm by myself. And that's not anything I'd ever recommend doing. But when I gotta do these ventures by myself, I gotta do them. But I've been going in these mountains for years, and I've never had a problem. But we should be just about there. Yep. Alright, here's Andrew's Ball. I made it. Let's check it out. This is it. And I have to fall down and break my damn neck. And got these little boardwalks here. And that's what it is. It's kind of a ball area, I guess. That's all there is to it. We made it.
good place to camp out. Here we go, right here. Scenic view. So we've made it. Alright. I guess this is kind of why it looks really cool. See out of here. Let's check out where I'm at here if I can read this map. I always take the map with me. So we're basically here. I came all the way down through here. Now we're going to go back to Clingmans. But the area, Susan was found was way over here. As you can see, that's way down this map. So, how she got over there, I don't know. Kind of cool. Let's check it out. Yeah, that's the Smoky Mountains for you. Cool. So this, perhaps, is one of the last places that Susan and Mountain Girl ever saw, right here. Andrew's Ball. This is it. Cool. Gotta get up here and see the other side of the mountains. Somebody's been riding in there. Yeah. Cool. Panoramic view. Alright, let's head back before them feral people get me. If you do venture off, that's what you get into. Bluffs and drop-offs. And this is probably the last trail that the ladies saw. You know, the one Susan and the school girl that was on the field trip. Perhaps it was. But a lot of these things that people say here, they say that the feral people live in these mountains. Well, let me say I've lived in these mountains all my life for a long time. And I've worked in these mountains, I've surveyed in these mountains, and I've done firefighting. Never saw any feral people. So I don't know if that's the case. Now, is there some people that live up here? Probably. But, you know, there's rangers and people come up through here all the time. And if someone would start a fire, they'd find it too, because I know that because I was worked as a firefighter. And any smoke you see, they're going to come out there and get it. So I've stayed in these mountains, camped in these mountains, and came around in the rural areas like in there where you do surveying for public grounds and things of that nature. You have to go take four-wheelers and machines and go out there. Never saw any feral people. Now, Bigfoots, I got almost believe in a Bigfoot. Yeah, so back up the hill here. It's almost a mile of uphill. Cool coming down, but tough going back up. I don't know what happened to these people, because nobody really knows except for the Susan lady. They found her. But I do know you can get lost in these mountains. I did when I was a kid, about the same age as Dim's, me and my sister. It's when you panic sets in, you get down in the woods like that and walking around and misorientated. You start walking the wrong way. And that's what happened. And we did. We walked off the trail, which is never a good idea, across the mountain to a road. Finally flagged somebody down and said, "Oh, you're across the mountain. We're going to have to go all the way around the mountain and get you back to the park." So yeah, you can do it. Yeah, it's pretty brutal out there too. But there's still other mysteries unknown in these mountains. Let's try to get out of here before them ghosts get me. The Appalachian Trail. About there. Just went 4 miles, went straight up this hill to Clingmans, and that is one whopper of an incline. But I'm almost there. Alright, there it is. Finally made it. Phew. Trail. And I'd say down that way is where probably about 30 miles is about where Dennis was. Yeah, he had to go all the way down. Let me put my map back to the side. Found Susan way down Higgins Creek, and right way down this way would have been where Dennis was found, all on the Appalachian Trail down that way. Alright, let's head back down here and get in. Goodbye, Dawn. And goodbye, Andrew Ball. Probably be sore in the morning. That was a fun day. Out of here.